Hi there, this is Sandy. I'm at the Solaris and I am working on a overlay, an embroidery overlay I would call it, for a sweater for a friend who had some words on a sweater and she just wanted to put something nice over the top of it. So I'm playing around to see how I wanted to do that. So there's the flower on the screen. It's from the machine, inside the machine. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do that satin stitch around the outside yet, but I've got the rest of it pretty much stitched. I'm working on it over here. And let me just see if I can, I didn't want to show the name of the company that I was embroidering over, but here it is. Right here is the end of it. And I debated how to interface this or stabilize this. And I just used one piece of the medium weight cutaway black, and then on top water soluble because this is a stretchy knit. And I think as I studied this design, I wondered if it would go over the words okay, or if I would see through them. And I think based on how this design stitches out, I was going to just go right over the stitching, the words that were previously embroidered, and I'll tell you more as I go. I wanted to save that little piece though, because it does take a while for this, I think it's a rose, to stitch out, and I want to do a video for the whole thing. Most people don't want to watch that whole thing. But the good thing about this design is when it creates each petal, it goes over the previous petal, so there's some overlapping in the design itself, which helps make it look even thicker over the top of that, the wording that I'm trying to cover. Plus, there's 3 more colors that will shade the inside of the rose, and so I'm thinking that it should be fine. Now, normally, I don't sew a whole lot for other people. Sometimes I do, but most of the times I don't, because I don't know, I just felt like the time that goes into this embroidery and other things that I make, many people just don't understand it, and you know, the cost that any one of us or seamstresses would charge is going to be higher than you know, what you can get from the store. And so someone really has to be looking for something special and want to pay the price that it's worth making. And so I haven't really put myself out there to do sewing for other people for that reason. If I do, I like to pick out the sweatshirts, or at least know where they came from, so that if something happens, I can get a replacement. And with this sweater, I figured I'm going to just give it a try right on top of the sweater itself. I thought about making a patch and, you know, just embroidering the patch and then sewing on the patch. But there was something inside me that thought this was going to be okay because of this design. And backwood, so far so good. Going to get ready to change some colors here. Do any of you out there sew for other people? Or how do you feel about that? That would be interesting to know. I'm going to move you back so I'm not crossing over in front of you too close. Hopefully I said that there is water-soluble stabilizer on top, since it's a knit. And I would think somehow I did not. When I did the thread cutter, I think I pulled it a little hard and it came out longer than it should have been. So done with that first thread color. So this is one way we can save our sweaters that, you know, if we don't like or we don't care to see the name of the company that we used to work for or whatever it is, we can cover it up. I think next time, because I do have one more sweater to work on for her, I think next time I'm going to try to just do a patch. And I think there is, I put a patch satin stitch on the outside of this one, but I don't think I'm going to do it. Initially when I programmed the design in, I thought I was going to do it a different way, and I forgot to take that zip or that satin stitch out. So I can just stop it when it's done after the last thread color. But I was saying I do have one more sweater for her, and the design, the embroidery words that were on the front of this sweater were like almost 4 inches wide and about 2 inches, I'm sorry, long. So lengthwise, is that widthwise? That's widthwise, and then 2 inches long. So to find something that looks halfway decent that would fill that whole area, I looked through my machine. I didn't see anything that I really cared for except for this design and this machine. And I have another machine that I found another cute one. So something that was along the lines of what she liked. So I think for that one I'll create a patch. And then after I'm done, sew the patch on that sweater. I have had, knock wood, good luck with embroidering and stretchy sweaters by using that medium weight cutaway. I used to float a piece of a lightweight tearaway in back of it, but through trial and error I found that it wasn't really needed. So I stopped putting it behind there, and it actually helped. One time I put, when you overstabilize, that can cause problems too. And so I'm really trying to not do that anymore. Trying to look at these two colors. This color and the one before it look very similar. These stitch outs don't take very long. This one's only 3 minutes and the last one is a minute. I don't think there's anything else I have to share about this. I did use my quilting safety pins to hold back the sweater, and then this time, there is more. This time, I did not want to use a Babylock hoop because I only started to hoop this a little bit, and it was starting to get those burns already. So I don't have a 5x7 dime magnetic hoop, so I ended up using the 5x7 Babylock magnetic hoop, and it's been holding it in place very well, knock wood. Yeah, usually if I'm stitching something where I'm not sure if it's gonna stretch or pull, or I like to use the Babylock regular hoops, and not the magnetic hoops, but this magnetic hoop holds really well. So I guess you could call this saving a old work sweater for a friend. And I can see why she would want to save it because it's a nice sweater. It was difficult though to decide on a pattern that looked good to cover that 4-inch wide words design, hopefully, for this sweater. Last color. And I have no idea what to charge. I know that according to this design, it takes about 30 minutes if I take off the satin stitch. It takes about that long to stitch out, plus the 10 thread color changes. So that's, and I'm going to clip this little thread that's sticking out there. So it took me at least like about a half an hour to hoop it. I would say all in all it took me about an hour and a half. Then I always forget to factor in the thread and the stabilizer. You know what it takes to actually embroider, which this hoop was very expensive. They are worth getting, but you know they have to pay for themselves over time because they're pretty expensive. And I'm happy to say I don't think I see the letters coming through. Because of the way this design is stitched out. And you know, when I think about it, if I would have done a patch, I could have been guaranteed. I wouldn't be wondering. So that's why the next time I do this, I'm going to do a patch. Simple enough. The part I was trying to figure out was when I first hooped it, I had stabilizer in there and I was going to create a patch. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. You have to cut around the patch, and that has to look decent, and you don't want the stabilizer showing. So there is wash away, like a heavy duty wash away, and even better, I'm thinking maybe the iron away would be better to put this on, like a couple layers of that. Because I've heard that does really well with patches, stabilizing patches and things you don't want to show on the front. So let's see if we can get you closer. I'm going to pull this out because I'm not going to do the satin stitch. Yeah. It's such a thick sweater there. So there it is. I think it's going to be good. And I'll press it from the back. Here's the back. I'll trim that up and cut around it. And that's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.